Yeah, this is a blue room. I am in Matisse's studio. If you follow the Big Six, which you of course do, or you follow Matisse's channel, I'm in his room. Well, not his room. That's weird. I'm in his studio setup, which is unbelievable. Very inspiring. So, more to come on the Goonerverse. Anyway, I'm not here to talk about that, although it'd be quite cool, and I might get his opinion on stuff in a sec. I want to talk about Liverpool looking very, very good. Although conceding goals, as I thought they might do when I put out my video on the title race and sort of what Arsenal would do. I've just knocked something, don't tell him. Oh no. Anyway, Man City, 4-0 win at Wolves. I thought they'd destroy them. Got my prediction on that correct. Max Dowman's travel with the squad. Eze closing in on a move to Tottenham. Let's be honest, it's actually not been a very good start to the weekend for Arsenal whatsoever. Where do we start? I think we start on the Eze thing. I think that's the biggest news, that he has told Spurs, and he's told Palace that he wants to move to Spurs. Spurs are ramping up their efforts. I think the big thing here, and I'm not just being Mr. Cope with this, I think the big thing is that Spurs are making a genuine active effort to try and sign him. Arsenal are saying, we would like to, if maybe other things don't work out. And you've got to feel wanted as a player. But then also, if you're signing somewhere, you've got to have a real understanding of what they want to do with you. And Arsenal aren't clearly projecting that to Eze in any way, shape or form, because we've been linked for months and months, but we're not advancing this deal, whereas Tottenham really are. He's going to go to Tottenham, in my opinion. I don't see Arsenal sort of pivoting from their stance and deciding that actually they want to make this a priority, which is disappointing. I think Eze could be the difference between us winning the title and not. I really believe that. I think he can play off the left in a reshuffled system, in a new dynamic that gets him more on the inside, that takes creative burden off Ødegaard. I've talked about this time and time again. I think he could be a really good addition, who also has the ability in terms of some pace, but real quality and guile to play as an out-and-out winger who can beat players out on the touchline, but we don't want to use him in that way. Or at least we don't see him as the first option. We supposedly want a Rodrigo still, that's being said, but ultimately I think he's going to go to Tottenham. I think this is a really, really, really big miss. That news is coming out. Arsenal fans will be disappointed about it. The window's not complete unless we get that 10/left winger style of player. If we get an out-and-out winger, I can live with it, but still you've got a lot of the same profiles in Ødegaard, Waneri, Dowman. As if Vieira's still there. You're asking them to do basically the same thing from the same areas of the pitch. Is that Arsenal really reinventing themselves and going a step further from last season, evolving from what we've done the last few years? No, I don't think it is. Eze is a must sign for me, but it doesn't know we're going to do it, and I'm really disappointed about it. That's the first bit of bad news. We'll end on the good news. Liverpool winning. And look, there is an imbalance there. They will concede goals. I think this will be a tighter title race than people expect, despite the players they've added and what they did last season. But they score goals. They have so many goals in them. And there's not really... They're going to outscore teams. Look at that goal Salah scored. He just hoofed up the pitch. He just went, I'll run onto that. And then I'll just, drive into the penalty area. Then I'll just drag it onto my weaker foot. And I'll just find the corner quite effortlessly. Really good start for them. And you know what the gut punch is? I don't think I'd be talking about Liverpool if they beat Bournemouth at home in quite a standard manner. It's the fact that they got a late goal and they got that oomph. And there, it was a fueled, crowd at Anfield, and they got a pretty scintillating win in this kind of the manner it happened. I know the performance wasn't perfect, but I think it was an energising win in the end. And then you got City, who just made light work of a Premier League away day. Now, I know Wolves aren't expected to be the best. Some people have tipped them to go down. I know they've lost a lot of quality, but still, they made light work of that. And that is concerning in itself as well. You're looking at our rivals putting 4 goals on the board, 3 points for 2 of our title-chasing rivals, and then the Eze thing with Tottenham, and you're going, oh. Now, look, it's game week 1. I don't think we need to start worrying about falling off the pace immediately. I don't think we need to overreact to every result that doesn't go our way, whether it be our rivals, our local rivals, title rivals, whatever it might be. But I think you do stop and take notice. Do Arsenal have 4 away goals at Wolves in them? Do Arsenal have 4 goals at home against Bournemouth in them? Do Arsenal have the balance, have they evolved enough on last season? Now, maybe. I think Zubimendi's going to give us a lot of craft in the final third. I think Gyökeres is going to add goals because that is exactly what he does. But I do have concerns, and I had them before going into the season, and it's been a weekend that has started with basically some deflating news throughout, whether it be Eze and the way others have played. Tottenham even won 3-0. Now, like I said, I'm not going to do videos reacting to every result that our rivals get in their favour and crying about it. I'm not going to do that. But I will acknowledge that as an Arsenal fan, I'm feeling a touch deflated going into the game at Old Trafford. But it's for the players to energise us and say, listen, don't worry about that. We have got it. So let's talk about that group going. Because Max Dowman has been spotted with the team, supposedly. There's a video that did the rounds. Max Dowman's travelled. Now, that's fascinating because he wasn't in the squad for Bilbao, supposedly given a rest. When you're talking pure talent, this player is good enough to be involved with the squad. On pure talent, on what we are seeing, ball at the feet, he is unbelievable. And he deserves a place in the squad. I was watching Goonerverse do a video, and he actually said, like, look, I want to see him involved because he's earned it. And I agree with that. But you've got to realise that for the 11 players that are out there, and then the 9 that are taken, that's 20 players. There's quite a few that will be left out of the squad. There are quite, on the bench already, you're going to have Madueke, Trossard, Havertz, all didn't start against Bilbao, if you're going with that same 11. Then you've got Waneri, you've even got Vieira, you've got Marino, you've got Norgard, you've got, I think I mentioned Madueke, didn't I? Well, if I didn't know, well, Madueke, Trossard, Havertz, that's your front three on the bench. So Dowman's made it in place of someone. I think I saw Trossard travelling. Now, maybe he's the spare man. Maybe he's being brought for the experience of it all. Maybe. But typically that extra man is a goalkeeper. And also, are we going to deny him playing some under-21s football? Because he wasn't in the under-21s lineup. They played, I believe, today. So again, it suggests that when you look at the minutes he got in pre-season, when you look at the fact he's travelling with the squad, it suggests that there's some genuine game time. Now, that is like a new signing. It's crazy we're talking about a 15-year-old from the academy in that way, but that is somewhat like a new signing. But because it's an extra player, you consider that you didn't consider last season. However, it's a lot of pressure. It's exciting that he's travelled with the squad. It speaks volumes of his talent. It speaks volumes of the role he might play. Maybe it says a little bit as well about actually why Arsenal don't feel like Eze is a priority, and they do want to go for the out-and-out left winger because of Ødegaard, Waneri and Dowman, who could all play in those central spaces. But I still think we need that player as a right-footed option and a different profile. But ultimately, I've had my rant about that. Ultimately, what we're really talking about here is a 15-year-old who's travelling with the squad to Old Trafford to maybe play a part in Man United versus Arsenal. And if he does, and if he's brought on at any point where we need a goal, that would be an unbelievable show of faith in this player. And he'll be doing something really, really extraordinary. So I don't know if he's going to play, but I think we should be excited about the prospect of it and the prospect of this young player. Let me know in the comment section below, do you think he's going to get on at Old Trafford in some way, shape or form? But wow, But again, this is all from footage just on the rounds of him travelling with the squad. We can't read necessarily too much into it, though I've just spent a whole video doing that. But we can start to speculate and wonder. But all will be answered in 24 hours' time. So anyway, let's see. Let me know your thoughts. Will he be a part of the squad? Or will he be involved in the games? More what I'm interested in. And do you also feel a bit deflated about Liverpool City, Eze, all this? A winner
deflated?
Oh my God.
Deflated? Arsenal fans deflated? Well then let me just show up and shine, eh? Are you deflated? I hope you are.
I absolutely shit myself. Why did you do that? I was thinking, well, he's never coming down.
Guys, we ain't played yet either, I'll be honest.
That's true.
Yeah, I am also. Not deflated, but I'm certainly wary. I'm going to be watching the extended
I need to
highlights.
watch that back, I've absolutely shit it. But just quickly, Dowman has supposedly travelled with the squad. Do you think he's going to be involved?
He's got to be on the bench, and boy.
Do you think he deserves to be?
I mean, I've only seen glimpses, like the hype obviously on Twitter. I've seen comps, I've seen highlights, but I'm also wary of the fact that you guys are not in a position where you necessarily should be relying upon someone
Yeah,
like
I agree.
him. Like, he's so young. Is he not doing his GCSEs? He's not got school on
What you'd think so.
He's got school on Monday,
yeah,
no?
yeah.
Now, when does school start?
Well, the under-21s lineup, because they played today, he wasn't involved.
Yeah. Look, he's really talented and he's clearly good enough to be in the first team. Like, there's no doubt.
Yeah.
But I would just be wary of the magnitude of the match, the pressure, the fallout if you don't get the result you need to get.
Yeah.
With the window, Eze and Rodrigo going to potentially rivals, what that looks like. And I would hate for a 15-year-old to be put in a position where he maybe doesn't. He makes one error and it costs you the game because he just happened to be in that position in that moment, and that was the defining moment of the game. I'm sure most logical people won't respond like that, but there's always people that, you know, aren't going to be logical in that moment. So I would probably have him on the bench at best. And should you have to bring him on with Saka, Wanyeri, other options? Probably not. So, yeah.
Quick last one to ask you. I've been basically saying that this has been a bad weekend for Arsenal already. When you've got Liverpool looking good, scoring 4 goals, City scoring 4 goals, and they're going Spurs. And look, I'm not going to cry after every result that goes in the favour of our rivals, but it's been a particularly kind of deflating one with every kind of late Liverpool goal. And the Eze thing's a big one though. Can you believe that we're letting this one slip through our fingers?
I'm shocked.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't expecting you to get Rodrigo. That was something that I was kind of like, Rodrigo's begging to stay at Real Madrid.
Yeah.
He doesn't really seem like he wants to move. If he does move, I can sense like a PSG, because that's just, there's a history of Brazilians going there, Ronaldinho, Lucas Moura, it kind of fits. And now even, you know, there was links to City and Liverpool and all sorts. Eze for me is like, that story, just from a PR perspective, I thought you guys might just love it. You know, I thought your PR team would absolutely love that, your media team. Obviously getting rejected when he was younger and whatnot, the comeback story. And also just someone that is Premier League proven, pretty experienced, not going to cost crazy on wages, not going to cost crazy on a transfer fee in this market. And also in a position that you clearly need. Like, you can't be playing through Odegaard next season. You clearly need someone that can dribble, that can carry, that can draw fouls, draw attention, create space for others. Yes, I know there's an overlap on the left back, and that means maybe Lewis Skelly's crossing needs to improve, which I've seen little clips where he's trying to obviously do that. But you just need something different, especially when you're trying to force into Gyökeres, like you're trying to create for him, you're trying to supply a service him. You need people that can get on the ball and make things happen. I just feel like you look awfully predictable at times and kind of bland, which is not how Arteta's regime in title races started. So,
There we go. Arsenal sign Eze. But do you know what? More importantly, beat Man United. Thanks, Matisse.
Actually, don't do that. Lose.
All right. Thanks for letting me use your set, by the way.
No problem.
I locked something, but I think we're all right. Anyway, right, like, subscribe, all that. And you know where Matisse is. Go support his channel. There he is. In a bit.